Chapter 6.2, Day 1, Properties of Exponents. Key ideas, properties of exponents, product of powers property. To multiply powers with the same base, add their exponents. So if you have same base and you're multiplying them, then you're going to add the powers. So 4 to the power 6 times 4 to the power 3 would be 4 to the power 9. So 6 plus 3. So you can also write like that. So 4 to the power 6 plus 3 is 4 to the power 9. And similarly, if you're dealing with the letters, so a to the power m plus n. Next is quotient of powers property. To divide powers with same base, subtract their exponents. For example, if you're dividing 4 to the power 6 divided by 4 to the power 3, so if you divide, then you're going to subtract the power. So 6 minus 3, and that's going to be 4 to the power 3. So add the power when you multiply, subtract the power when you're dividing it. So this, in this case, is going to be a to the power m minus n. Next is power of a power property. So it means that you have one power and on top of it you have another power. So it's called power of a power. To find a power of a, power multiply the exponent. So you're going to multiply the exponent if you want to find the power of a. So for example, you want to find the power of 4 and it's 4 to the power 6 and outside is 3. So you, in this case, you're going to multiply the powers. You can see that in this case you have two powers. So when you have two powers, you multiply, and when you have two bases, then you add the powers. So when you two powers multiply, when you have two bases, then you add the powers. And then for the letters here, you're going to write a to the power m times n. So a to the power m times n. More properties of exponent. So zero exponent property. Anytime you have exponent as 0, the answer is always 1. So 4 to the power 0, since the exponent is 0, so answer should be always 1. Whenever you have a negative exponent, so in mathematics we do not allow a negative exponent. So if there is a negative exponent, we have to flip it. In order to change the negative exponent to a positive exponent, you flip this and the answer should be 1 over x to the power n. If you have the negative exponent in the bottom, you flip it to the top. If you have a negative exponent on the top, you flip it to the bottom. So in this case, you're going to have a to the power n on the top. Now we are going to complete this table. So 2 to the power 3, we do not change it. We keep it as 2 to the power 3. In expanded form is 2 times 2 times 2. And it's a simplified form is 8. 2 to the power 2 is 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 to the power 1 is 2, and answer is 2. 2 to the power 0, anything to the power 0 is always 1. In this case, you have a negative exponent. So first thing you want to do is to flip it so that it becomes positive exponent. So 1 over 2 to the power 1, and that's 1 over 2. And simplified form is also 1 over 2. 2 to the power negative 2 into making it a positive exponent, 1 over 2 to the power 2. And that's going to be 1 over 2 times 2, and that's 1 over 4. For the last one, 2 to the power negative 3, you're going to flip it, 1 over and the negative exponent become positive 3. So 1 over 2 to the power 3, and that's going to be 1 over 2 times 2, which is 1 over 8. Next is condense each expression completely. So you can think about this if you have w to the power 1, w to the power 1, and w to the power 1. Once you condense, if the bases are same, you're going to add the powers. It's going to be w to the power of 3. Or you can just think about w times w is w to the power of 3. For letter B, you're going to combine the x and x. So x times x is x squared. And then you're going to combine the y times y times y times y. So they're y to the power of 4. You can also think this as you have power 1, 1, 1, and 1. Once you multiply, and if they have bases same, so that's going to be y to the power 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and that's going to be 4. So they're adding the powers. Same thing for x. X to the power 1, x to the power 1. When you multiply, it becomes x to the power 1 plus 1. For C, letter C, you're going to have 5, 5, and 5. So 5 to the power 3 and w to the power 3. For letter D, you're going to combine this as 5 to the power 3 and 2 to the power 2. So the answer is 5 to the power 3 times 2 to the power 2. Example number 1, using properties of exponents. So if you're going to use properties of exponents, you look at the problem 3 to the power 2 and 3 to the power 6. So you decide which property this is going to be. So this is same base and this is a product property. If you have same base, you're going to add the powers. So this is going to be 3 to the power 2 plus 6, and the answer is 3 to the power 8. Next is a quotient property. So it means if the bases are same, you're going to subtract the power. You're going to get here negative 4 to the power negative 5. Remember this property, a to the power negative n. If the power is negative, then you're going to flip it. So negative 4 to the power negative 5. To make the negative 5 as a positive 5, you're going to flip this and you're going to get 1 over negative 4 to the power 5. Next property for letter C is a power of a power property, and you can see that here the difference. So here the two bases and two powers. Here two bases and two powers, but in a division form. Here you have only one base, that is z, but you have two powers. To solve this, you're going to multiply the power. So that's going to be z to the power negative 12. And negative power means you're going to flip it to the bottom. So 1 over z to the power 12. Now, letter D is again a product property. So x to the power 3 times x to the power 4 is going to be x to the power 3 plus 4. And the final answer is x to the power 7. G to the power 7 times g to the power 1 is going to be g to the power 7 plus 1. So that's going to be g to the power 8. Letter F remains as it is because there is two different bases. So if the bases are different, you cannot add the powers. Here you can combine for letter G y to the power 4 times y to the power 12. That's going to be y to the power 4 plus 12 times, there is no other x to combine with, times x to the power 9. So your final answer is y to the power 16 times x to the power 9. For letter H, you're going to multiply the 6 and 9, and 9 times 6 is going to be 54, and x to the power 7 plus 3. So that's going to be 54 x to the power 10. Letter I. You're going to multiply the number by number just like you multiply in any other situation. So 12 times 4. 12 times 4 is 48, and it's going to be 8 to the power 1 plus 10. So the final answer is 48, 8 to the power 11. Now you're going to pause the video and do the 1 through 6 problems for you try problems. For number 1, you have same basis, then power is going to add when you multiply them. So 10 to the power 4 minus 6, and that's going to be 10 to the power negative 2. If the power is negative, you're going to apply the method a to the power negative n equals 1 over a to the power n. So that's going to be flipped, 1 over 10 to the power 2. If you want to solve it, because this is easy, I just write 10 times 10 is 1 over 100. So that's your final answer, or this is your final answer. For number 2, bases are same. You're going to add the powers. And when you add the two powers, it's 9 minus 9, that is x to the power 0, and the final answer is going to be 1. Just remember that every time you have exponent as 0, the answer should be 1. Division property. So you're going to subtract the bottom number from the top number. So negative 5 to the power 8 minus 4, that's going to be negative 5 to the power 4. For number 4, you're going to have here y to the power 6 minus 7. So that's going to be negative 1. Anytime you have a negative exponent, flip it. So 1 over y to the power 1. Now, you don't have two bases, but you have two powers. So it means this is a power of a power property. So all you have to do is that multiply these two numbers. So 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. So 6 to the power 10. W, you're going to multiply the powers again. So yeah, that's going to be 12 times 5. And W to the power 60 is your answer.